without further ado, let's get it. And don't forget to hit the like, share, and subscribe. And yeah, all that good stuff.
Looking at that, you know that something happened. And also you can tell that it seems like either he was pushed out of the back with some kind of force. Even when he finally ran into the officer, parts of this video is not accurate because you see him running to get away and then you see him stop running. So this video is highly edited. I don't know, what part of it is edited, but it's not cohesive. Like it looks like something is not all the way correct. And also we can tell that it's edited because there's no timestamps. It's not the original video. And I'm wondering, like, why did they, well, I know it seems like they just gave us this video to shut us up. But if you can walk us through what we're seeing on the screen, I'm just going to play it and just turn the volume down.
Okay. What we're seeing here is actually a different camera angle. These are three different cameras. And so this camera right here is one that they never showed anybody. And this is the boys, the twins, and their friends walking through the gate. So you see either Hunter walking with the first group and Austin with the second, or they said Austin with the first group and Hunter with the second guy. And that's them walking over. This is another camera angle. This is from the 40-yard line on the left side or the south side of the stadium. They didn't show this either to the people that did the PRI request and to enter Frisco ISD. This is a separate camera. This is Carmelo actually walking up before any of this happened. And this is where from testimony you hear them saying EP. That's that moment. It's not. It's actually several different videos together to give that moment.
Okay.
This angle here is several kids.
Don't want to cut you off, but I'm glad that you said that it's several different angles, because when I'm watching it, I'm like, okay, they walk in. Why come we can't see them walk in and where they actually go? So you see them walk in, and now you see this camera cut over. So I know just from watching it that we're missing some stuff. So I'm glad that you said that there's different angles that's being shown, but they're making it seem like it's one video, but it's actually different portions.
Correct. And before you started, this that we're looking at, this is actually the prosecutor's evidence that they submitted into court to put up to proffer their case. And
so the plot thickens and the defendant had Nathan provided Nathan nada. Yeah, the fix was in.
And so every time that a case is adjudicated, the court gives you a dump of all of the evidence that was put into the case. So that's what we're seeing. This is not anything that was being where we're talking about we're having to fight with Frisco ISD to get the actual footage. This is not that. This is what was going to be released regardless, because this is what every court does after it's available. They release it to the public. And normally your media get it first because they're the ones that's sitting at the courtroom every day waiting for it. And then people like myself that have PIRs or FOIA requests in will receive it as we go and pay for it and get it ourselves as well. But this is all what the prosecution said they were going to mesh together in order to convict Carmelo. So they're basically putting it into a way to where it makes him look guilty in their eyes. And it's up to the defense, who has all of the video, to actually proffer up the reason why that the prosecution is lying, which they did not ever do.
I stand corrected.
And so I just want to make that context to people so they understand that what we're looking for is not any video feed that we're fighting for. It's actually what was going to come out regardless. And this is what was shown in, well, not all shown in court, but this is what the prosecution offered up as evidence and put into the case. And so we're seeing that how they mesh it together. And again, you're looking at 3 to 4 different camera feeds that they mesh together as one.
Gotcha. Okay. Got it. Okay, so from what I'm looking at, it looks like a stadium. I don't make out who these people are, but as I watched it multiple times, I started to look at this canopy because I know
That statement makes absolutely no sense.
from all of the people that I have heard speak about this, this is
Yes.
where the action takes place.
And if you could pause it right there, right quick, before we go further, if you really pay attention, from looking at the video that we saw earlier of Carmelo coming out from the steps coming into the stadium and walking over toward where the memorial canopy is that they're not showing, as two other canopies that's there to the left of it. So he was walking past that way. There was courtroom testimony that EP, Eddie, is the one that called him into the canopy. So by this time that this video is running, Carmelo is already up under the canopy with EP. EP has moved. Yeah, EP has moved. And so from that, you would see a lot of
If Carmelo Anthony is a murderer, then what is Kyle Rittenhouse?
movement under that canopy. Remember, Jeff Metcalf himself and Hunter himself both said that Austin, and Hunter said he did too, but we'll just go by what Metcalf said, Jeff Metcalf. He said that Austin grabbed the bag and threw it. And in this, you're going to see movement from Carmelo because he was in the middle. You're going to see where he was sitting before, that he was actually moved from one spot and he moved back to the same spot. And people think that's where he walked in, and it's not. It's where those things were taking place that they actually mentioned. And so he was trying to get his bag back. Austin was keeping him from getting his bag back. And as they said in the court, he used a football move, almost like you pick up the football dummy and you're putting it back as a DP or as an offensive lineman or a DB trying to move another person. He put Carmelo back and jacked him back in that spot to where he was. And so that's the movement that you see. So when people say that they're walking up and Carmelo wasn't there, no, Carmelo was already there, and you're seeing the movement based on that.
Again, if Carmelo Anthony is a murderer, because I don't know murderers who run to their coaches. I don't know murderers who run to the police. I don't know those. But I know Kyle Rittenhouse. I know Dylan Roofs. So you tell me, if Carmelo Anthony is considered a murderer, then what was Kyle Rittenhouse?
So are you saying that Austin took his backpack, took Carmelo's backpack?
Yes, according, and we're just going to go by Hunter Metcalf and Jeff Metcalf's own words. Hunter Metcalf said that he took his bag, and then he said later that his brother aggressively took his bag. That's what he said. Jeff Metcalf stated on his interview, I think with CBS 11 in Dallas, he said that Austin took the bag and threw it, is what he said. And so that fits in with Austin's part because you can see the movement.
I sound dumb, but Kyle Rittenhouse had a AR rifle on him walking the streets illegally with it. I didn't know AIs were illegal in. I don't know. I never walked around with an AR in my life, even in a grocery store. So what the fuck is you talking about?
Under the canopy, and you see other kids moving around as well. But you also see a sea of kids blocking the view of the coaches because they were on purpose on the right-hand side of the canopy standing there and making sure that the view was blocked. And then later on, you'll see a young man by the young girl with the yellow poncho on. He kept looking, and you see him bend down looking in. He's bending down looking in because that's where Carmelo was at the time, on the ground, because they had him in there on a chokehold.
Okay. I got a question for you because I know you saw the video at Frisco ISD. I actually went and looked up, I think, is it pronounced Kirkendall Stadium? Is that how it's pronounced?
Something like that, yes.
So I went and looked up that stadium. Those videos are very clear. So when I'm looking at it, I'm like, okay, I understand what the people say when they say they went there and they saw it, because it's clear. Because when I go on their website, every video is clear. So because you saw the clear video, and I haven't, obviously, what would you say the actual differences? I mean, we can zoom in, but when you saw the video at Frisco, how much clearer was that? Like, what more were you able to make out? Again, we can zoom in it and we can see movement, but when you saw your video at Frisco, what was more clearer to you than us actually watching this video?
Yes, I'll talk about the 11-minute video because that's what everybody that did a PRR request and a FOIA request, that's what they saw. It was actually this same camera. The camera was actually zoomed over just a little bit to your left, a little bit more, and it was fixed. And what they did is they actually lowered it down toward the ground a little bit. And so you could actually see a white gentleman and his wife. They were standing there the whole time with he had his hand like this because he was looking at what the boys were doing. And it was actually zoomed in just a little bit more. And so you can see the raindrops even more clearer than you see it here. You can actually see a bird fly by as well, which you see birds flying by here as well, but you see it more clearly because one, depending on the device that you're looking at it from, which this device they're showing it from is actually the same monitor that Tiffany Billions actually recorded her part. That the 2-minute video that I put out about her having, that's the part that she recorded from the same monitor. So we're looking at this feed from that clarity, basically.
He should have got a life sentence over this nonsense. Ain't no way. Ain't no way, boy. Ain't no way.
And so, but the clarity that they showed us was from a 55-inch HD TV on the wall. And so the clarity is a little bit clearer. And it's always about the device that you show it on and that you record it from. And so this one is clearer than what other people saw, but it's not as clear as the original footage and also that of the 11-minute video. So what we would see different there is that up under the canopy was a little bit more darker because they did tilt it down trying to keep the identities of the other kids away from people at the time, which I understand and I agree with that moment at the time. Right now, it's not that anymore. But this, you see more than what some of the people saw on the 11-minute video because they edited again as it went further, and they actually zoomed in more and made it a little bit more darker so they could protect people a little bit more as it went in. So the first,
I'm just going to say this preemptively. Hunter could have prevented this. You could have prevented this. And I'm going to wait until the end to tell you why. You could have prevented this.
First thing you notice here is that from the one that we saw there, Frisco ISD, they're telling you to look and say, hey, here's the 4 boys coming. So as these guys are coming, she's telling you that these are them. So don't pay attention to the other stuff on the screen because you're gonna miss what happens because it happens so quick. So when they walk in, everything is meshed together on that screen. So you're looking at the movement and paying attention to the movement, but you can see that a few of them never sits down. You see the one, which was Austin, that made his way, he turned around, put his foot up, he did all kind of things. But as soon as he walked in, you see him bend over. His bending over was directly toward Carmelo, and that was actually said in court. You also see one of the other kids on the left actually moving in and going in and out toward Carmelo. That was actually said in court as well, and that's actually on the video. And so all these things are true. People will say it's 3 of them that went there, but it was a 4th on the left. And we kept saying that young person kept going up and down. And so the only difference of this video and the PIR video that most people saw, because some of us saw a little bit different stuff in the beginning. But from the ones that saw that 11-minute video, this right here is just a little bit less clearer than that video, but it shows exactly what happened to a T of what we've been explaining for a year and 2 months, 3 months, 4 months, however long it's been.
Gotcha. Oh,
He didn't have a fair freaking trial. This should have had been a retrial automatically, because this is not even the full footage. This is not even the full fucking footage. Where's the rest of the shit? I want to see underneath the tent. Where's the rest of the fucking footage?
okay. So what I'm hearing, it was just another camera which had a.
That's because you can't even see with this particular video. Numb nuts. Even the witnesses said it was raining.
A better angle is pretty much what I'm hearing.
No, man, it's the same camera, because this is the camera at the 40-yard line. If you look right, actually,
did he stab him or did he stab himself? Because if you weren't paying attention, where was the bag? Carmelo didn't even have his bag.
this may be the 50-yard line camera, because they have a 50-yard line camera that moves with motion.
Okay.
And so this may be that one, but I think it's the 40-yard line camera that would be on the north or on the right side of the home side. And that's the one that they showed us the footage from at Frisco ISD. So it would be the same camera footage. They just edited it for the purposes of the prosecution. So they're showing you everything and moving it, because you can move all these cameras. Everything is.
Nah, I believe it. Oh, I believe it was tampered. I believe it was tampered with. Yeah. The judge finally releasing this video. This is somewhat similar to, I don't know. I gotta think of the actual case.
You can pan it, I think, up to 45 degrees or something like that. Either way, all these camera angles, and so they all are movable.
So my question though, even with looking at it, like the first time I saw it, I looked at it multiple times and then I zoomed in. You can clearly see that it was a fight. So I don't understand what the jury saw. That's why I'm so confused. So even seeing this, and even it being in the quality that it's in right now, if you're on a jury, you should be trying to zoom in to see. I did it with my phone. I went on TikTok and found other videos. Obviously, we know the jury can't do that. But I'm saying in court, when they saw this, I'm just trying to figure out what is it.
No, the truth is, a black man can't defend himself in the United States of America. That's the truth. If you don't like it, oh well. Just deal with it. Ben and Greg, just deal with it.
That they did not see.
Well, they didn't see this. I can tell you that. They saw bits and pieces from people in the court, and we know this is, 15 minutes long? When they turned the monitor over to the jury to let them see, because they showed snippets to the general public and the counsels and Carmelo and all of them, and then they flipped the monitor around and they showed the jury different pieces, but it was not 15 minutes long. And so they showed them a compilation of what they wanted them to see. And it was Carmelo basically walking up. It was Carmelo running away, and it was just that. So they were showing that he was the aggressor, he intended this, and he ran away from there. That was their cry as far as the prosecution. The defense never rebutted that. And so they were not shown this 15 minutes. They were not shown that. They were just shown a compilation, which was still shots, little snippets of video, from my understanding, maybe a minute long, a few seconds long, had the little hourglass thing on it to show Carmelo, all those things. But the prosecution did proffer this entire 15 minutes up to be used if needed be. And so that's kind of that moment. And so the defense just never offered any of the footage, and they have all the footage because.
And this is the reason why Austin is 6 feet under. FAFO.
It was all turned over to them because you have to, because of exculpatory evidence. The defense just never used it because they never planned on mounting the defense for Carmelo, period.
Okay, because somebody told me, about the Brady violation. So I had to look that up. And it clearly says that the Brady violation occurs when the prosecution fails to disclose material that could somehow help the defense. But now you're saying that
white people gaslight all day. Because if it were the other way around, you'll be seeking justice. You be tattletaling. Oh, excuse me, these black guys ain't no winning. Ain't no winning with it. We lay down, we die. We defend ourselves, we go to jail. There is no winning. There is no protection, especially in a racist state like Texas. In a racist state like Texas. That's imaginable. Maybe, just maybe, if black folks were to grow a brain and get the fuck up out of Texas, it'll be a much better situation. But then again, y'all like Texas for some strange reason.
Yeah, it was provided. They just didn't use it. So essentially, the defense had the full video, just never relied on it as evidence.
Correct, because it's ineffective assistance of counsel at that point in time. The prosecutor, look, one thing we have to understand is that in all of their issues, as far as the DA's office in Collin County, they are not done.
Don't touch people. Do not put your hands on me. It's that simple.
And so they know exactly if you commit a Brady violation, that's the easiest way for a person to get out of jail free, period. And so they were not going to not give the exculpatory evidence to the defense. Now, what did happen is that somewhere in there, after about a week or two of Mike Howard getting on this case, he decided to not be a lawyer anymore. And so whether that's at the behest of the judge, the behest of the prosecution, D.A. Willis, whoever, somebody got in his ear and got in his life and got in his mind, and he decided not to be a lawyer anymore. Because I know that when he took this case over from the other two attorneys that were on it right before that and got fired, they had already started working on trying to get it dismissed. He took up on that case and he was working on trying to get it dismissed. And then all of a sudden he has an ex parte meeting with the DA's office and whoever else at the Collin County Courthouse building. And after that, he forgot how to be a lawyer. And that showed all the way up to the time that we saw through trial. So that's kind of what we're dealing with. So there, from my knowledge, there was no Brady violation when it came to the videos because I know that the defense received all of the video footage.
Okay. So it would have been on the defense then to show this portion and just zoom in so that the jury can, have that reasonable doubt. Because when I look at this, I'm like, okay, if they say it wasn't a fight, they lying. Now, I've heard some people say, and even like in multiple different chats, they say, well, Carmelo said he put his hands on me. I didn't take that as him saying that it wasn't other people, because I feel like when you're in a situation, especially when adrenaline.
Don't put your hands on people. No hell for you.
Adrenaline is running. You may say he, but it was they. So I didn't take that as an indicator that it was one person opposed to multiple people. What do you think about that video where Carmelo says he put his hands on me opposed to they?
I think people have to understand that context always matters. Even in this video, when we get further into it, you will see that once Carmelo ran away, he ran over toward the coaches. He got to a coach. We know that from the coach who testified that he talked to Carmelo. He walked with Carmelo. He told Carmelo, you know, if he passes away, your life is done. And Carmelo was like, no, he's going to be okay. And he was like, no, if he passes away, his life is going to be over. And Carmelo started crying. If you watch this video as we go further, you're going to see that said coach. And that coach actually walked him over toward where Austin was laying on the ground. They had that long conversation. So now Carmelo knows that when he ran away, he didn't know what happened.
Y'all sound fucking retarded. If someone invites me over to if a coach invites me over to a particular tent, it's my God-given right to sit in that fucking tent. Point blank, period, end of discussion. You just don't like it because this is another brother underneath the jail. And you like your proud American white heritage to live on forever just because Trump is in office and he's influenced you assholes in the chat, not all of you, to rectify on your life. Man, oh man. All I know is if we could take it back to the old days where you fuck around with me, I'm definitely you don't know what the fuck I'm gonna do. But this is a scared boy. Y'all don't have no sympathy. You have no empathy for a kid that was crying because all he wanted to do was relax. You have no soul. None of yous have no fucking soul at all. If he was such a murderer, how come a murderer would throw the murder weapon away and run off and mind his own motherfucking business? But he ran to his coach. But y'all some Klansmen. I can't believe I'm talking to a whole bunch of Klansmen. This nigga these people are Klansmen. Get the fuck out of my chat. Y'all just get the fuck out of my chat. Go whine to these white supremacists and half of these fucking coons. Fucking Hitler.
But when
y'all some Hitler ass bitches.
Is walked back over there and the coach is going back and forth. Now he know that it's he, Austin, because the coach is telling him it's he, Austin. So when the officers get there and they're saying I have the alleged suspect, the first response Carmelo is saying that, hey, no, I'm not alleged. I did it because the coach just told me he did it. And then once they go further, now he's crying and saying, hey, he should have put his hands on me because the coach told him that this young man might lose his life because he did put his hands on him. So the context is that he was informed by said coach that it's now not it's he that might lose his life. So that's all Carmelo was thinking about. He's not thinking about nothing else. So when he made that statement, it was he.
Dwayne, I think your signal went out a little bit.
Oh, okay. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you now. Okay, that makes it.
No, it just puts more people in the grave. That's all it does, Tanya. It just puts more and more people in the grave. Rather be judged by 12 and carried by 6.
Because I'm like, listen, in a situation where you're in a fight, you ain't finna say everything the way that you would say it if you're not in a fight. So I'm glad you said that. So it wasn't that he denied that.
No, Tanya. What it is people don't believe in racism anymore. People don't believe that racism exists, which can't be no further from the truth. You take away it's simply put, take away one layer of truth away, your truth becomes invalid because the truth ain't in there. Donald Trump took away the one, I think was a statue of the, I forgot what the guy's name was, but the guy who had all not lesions, like whips on his back, took away that just because we took away Robert E. Lee. Robert E. Lee's statue. Boy, ain't no chill with these people. Ain't no chill. But they gonna be chilling today.
That he wasn't jumped, because I mean, we can see that it was not a one person thing. You can see, even by this not being as clear, that there are people standing up. Remember, the people who saw the video they've all stayed.
You damn right. Won't be bullying us no more.
And I'm gonna play some of these witnesses' account. They said that they all surrounded him. So when I'm looking at this, I'm like, okay, this is what I'm seeing, because I have heard other people say the video that they saw, they surrounded him. So that would make sense.
Correct.
Now, my next question is, when watching this video, I'm just trying to figure out, I'm really trying to figure out at what point did the poke happen? You know what I mean? Like, people say that they saw somebody throw something in the garbage can. So I've been watching it over and over again. What's the likelihood that, they had a weapon and somehow, with the fight, that somebody else poked, Austin? Because I'm just I don't believe nothing until I hear what Carmelo had to say, because these people are clearly liars.
Yeah, and you can clearly see that one young kid that actually went toward the trash can. He hit it so hard that it actually moved, and that was as they were chasing Carmelo. And so it's a moment to where, from the evidence and even from the photo of the wound, because that also got released. I'm out of town, so I haven't been able to get to the courthouse myself and go give my information from my PIR request. But looking at what everybody has shown, the wound looks more like a slash, and he's open by that slash. And so then looking at the actual tool that he used, I know this is YouTube, so I don't want to show it to you, but I have an actual replica almost of that same type of tool, because it has the window crasher thing that I carry with me from a vehicle. So if I ever get into an accident, my windows don't work, I can break it. It also has a little thing where you can cut the seatbelt if your seatbelt is locked. And that's exactly what that tool was. Now, we knew also that Hunter carried one every day. We have photos of it being in his pocket every day. His father said that he had just bought Austin and him one because they had took out their first wild hog and hunted the week or two prior to this. And so this is Texas we're talking about. Right. Mostly everybody carries a tool on them. So it's just what that is. And so
I'm gonna ask the same question as I asked everybody else. If Carmelo Anthony fought those boys, knocked one of them to the floor, knocked one of them to the bleachers, and he hit his head and it caused drama, and he ended up perishing because of it, will the outcomes be any different?
Never any evidence proffered that, one, it was Carmelo's, two, that there was no DNA or anything on it or blood that belongs to Carmelo on it. Also, they didn't even show the jury the actual evidence. The person said that they didn't want to wear gloves, so they brought a replica. That was the first time in history in court I ever seen them not bring the actual weapon. And so
it's wild that white people would scream murder, but where was your outrage? Where was your outrage for Trayvon Martin? Where was your outrage for Jordan Davis? Where was your outrage for Michael Brown? Where was your outrage for Sandra Bland? Where was that outrage? Where was that outrage for the? Remind me in the chat, someone of the woman who got shot center mass because she was with her boyfriend that night, and the FBI kicked down their door, and the dude bust back. Breonna Taylor. You didn't have no smoke for Breonna Taylor. You didn't. Where was that? Where was this bullshit? Where was this shit for Breonna Taylor? Where was this shit for George Floyd? I didn't know you could get justice for putting your knee on somebody's neck for 8 minutes and 46 seconds. Y'all missed me with that bullshit, bruh.
And then
that was a red. But that was a red flag to me because I'm like,
yes,
where in history someone passed away and they don't even bring the weapon? So it made me. I started to think, who else had their hands on that weapon to the point that they didn't want to bring it in court? I'm thinking that there were other fingerprints on it.
Oh, and by the way, usually when you stab someone, correct me if I'm wrong, when you stab someone, isn't there supposed to be blood on you as well as the victim? Carmelo looked pretty dry to me.
On it, because now that I see the level
and don't blame the rain either.
People will go through. I don't see, unless he says that, you know, that he had it for whatever reason, he has it. But when I look at the pictures of Hunter and Austin, I see them going fishing and things like that. So it makes more sense that they had it. So I think that they had it and he somehow got it away from them or flipped it on them. And that could be the reason why everybody is so angry, because I just don't believe that he had it. I just don't.
Yeah, my thought on it, and this is my thought.
Stop following us. Stop putting your hands on people. You've been doing this ever since slavery days. You sick dogs on us. Ain't fun when the rabbit got the gun. Ain't fun, ain't it? Keep going with it. Keep going with it. I love it. I love the gaslighting. I love it.
And I'll say allegedly, and before I say it, from what I know and what I've seen, I believe that Hunter had it. And I know that.
I don't know, bro. I don't know.
Entire case.
Maybe they feel entitled.
Blaming Austin. Put all the blame on Austin, because he's not here. But Hunter is the one that, by his own admission on WFAA Channel 8 News, on the same day that this happened, April the 2nd, hours after the going to see your brother at the hospital, he stated that he was the one that started this issue and situation, and that his brother always had his back, whether he was right or wrong. And so I believe that Hunter took it out. Hunter's fingerprints are on it. His DNA is on it. And I think that's probably how Carmelo got the finger prick on his finger, where the little blood is shown, where the cop said he noticed it later. I think is where he got it from, because he was trying to get away from them actually slicing him. And I think that Hunter put it in a position to where Austin fell on it, because everybody was rushing Carmelo at the same time Austin was aggressing upon him and put him in the headlock. And so this is what I feel from what I know from the evidence, and then also from them not, because Hunter was not there at the trial at all. His daddy kept him at home. And even when the defense was asking for him to be produced, they took a recess and did all other kind of stuff, and he never showed up. But then once he was
no accountability for Hunter. No accountability. Hey, why are you picking fights? Stop picking fights. You know, there were like other adults. Actually, he wasn't even an adult. My bad. There were adults that they could talk to make Carmelo leave. Why did he just talk to an adult? Talk to security. Why didn't he do that? Quite interesting.
Was convicted, and the sentencing phase came, and they had to do the victim impact statements. He was brought there by his friends in the car. We saw him pull up, saw him get out, saw him go in the courtroom. But you were not present at any other time until after the fact, and then you have the nerves to be on the stand telling Carmelo to look at me, boy, look at me, look at me. What?
Ooh.
And it's because you know that what you did. And when they left, someone shouted out to him that you're the reason why your brother is not here no more. And you could have seen the look on his face. He put his head down and he got in the back of that car because the guilt is on him. And the same thing with his dad when he was doing that interview, and the guy said, "Hey, here's Hunter. You know,
when you looked me in the eye and you called me a nigga, that's how I endured it personally. When you looked me dead in the eye and you called me a nigga." Does that answer your question?
Have anything to say to Hunter? That man looked like he could take that man out, and he said, "No, I don't have nothing to say." And he just stared at him, and you can hear the alarm of the truck open the doors. You can hear the door shut, and Jeff stopped the whole interview and just looked at him and stared at him. And if looks could kill, Hunter wouldn't be here right now. And so people, yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
I heard that. I gotta find.
Oh, and Jeff Metcalf, who is like a very mid dad, didn't he just call Carmelo's mom a bitch? Didn't he call Carmelo Anthony a watermelon felon? Sounds like racism to me.
Find that interview, but somebody said, and I'm gonna say allegedly too, I really believe the sole purpose of their hate toward Carmelo is because they were trying to do to him what ended up happening to that brother. And that brother feels sorry for what happened because he is the reason that it happened. You see what I'm saying? 'Cause I'm like, something is, and then think about it. Your brother, especially your twin brother, you don't show up to court. Why are you not in court? No weapon has been produced. I said no, it's something else in the story. It's something
and
else.
He didn't even testify. If my twin brother, or even if my little brother, was in a position like that and he's gone, I'm going to be on that stand telling everybody about what you did to my brother. And I'm going to make sure the jury knows my grief, my hurt, my loss. So when they go back there and they deliberate, I want them to go and touch the sky when it comes for you to be locked up. He was not nowhere. Hid from testifying. They never called him to the stand to testify because they knew he couldn't. Because if he did, he was going to break down in guilt. And one thing y'all have to remember, he didn't show up in court until after the fact, after the jury was gone, because just his pure presence of walking in, seeing how tall he is, seeing how much bigger he is than Carmelo, would have let the jury know that, wait a minute, this is a problem, because visual matter is in court. That's why they cut Carmelo's hair off, because visual matter. And so at the end of the day, all those things were red flags that should have let everybody know. And like I said in September of last year, that if they went to trial, Carmelo was getting 30 years because they had no interest in the judicial system working the way it's supposed to. They just wanted to lock him away and then take him up out of here because that's what the full intent was in the beginning from the Metcalf twins and their friends.
And why did the judge retire so quickly? Right after the case was over, you all of a sudden just retire like that? Very strange.
Carmelo wasn't supposed to make it past Kirkendall Stadium that day. Period. He wasn't supposed to be here. And they were going to take him up out of here, and they were going to say it was self-defense, and they were standing their ground, and they had the right to castle doctrine. They were going to have all of that because it's Texas. And people don't understand that Texas law clearly states this when it comes to self-defense. If I have a reason to believe that you are about to cause me harm physically, any bodily injury to include death, I have the...
He wasn't jumped? In this video, it's proof that he was jumped to me.
Right to take you up out of here and let you go see Black Jesus. That's what the law says. You don't even have to touch me for that to be a reasonable belief. I have reason to believe I can take you up out of here. And case law and other cases that just happened in Texas around right before Carmelo and after Carmelo have proven that to be. But in this instance, it was friends taking care of friends because Jeff Metcalf, D.A. Willis, the ADA that prosecuted this case, everybody involved, they all know each other from being in the Republican MAGA party and being out there in North Texas. Even a young lady that I have problems with that messed around with me and set me up, Tiffany, she has MAGA ties. And one of the dudes that's in the photo with them, she used to have me arrested. And so all these people have all these things that tie in. And also, one of my sisters just texted me and said that dealing with the knife, it's alleged that one of the twins' initials were actually on the knife. That's why they did not show it in the courthouse. So we're going to say allegedly. But I know that Jeff Metcalf said that he gave them initial and scribed knives before that. And so we know that theirs have initials. That's why they didn't bring the knife. And that's why you only see it from one side. So you won't see the initials. And so those are the things that we have to be aware of, that Texas law stands on Carmelo's side and anybody's side, so you can go home the way you came. What didn't stand on his side was Judge Roach's courtroom, because Judge Roach was going to make sure, I don't care if Johnny Cochran was living and was in there, the outcome would have been the same, because it wouldn't have been nothing that Johnny Cochran could do to make that happen like it happened. And like I said, I've had many conversations with a lot of people. I've been boots on the ground since April the 2nd of last year on this case. I live in the area, so I know about this stuff. But I've also talked to people who were involved in this case, and still are talking to people. Just talked to somebody earlier that was intimately involved in this case, and it was set up from the beginning. The jurors and the potential jurors would tell you just the makeup of what was going on, that this was going to be this outcome regardless. And so
2 to 3 hours. 2 to 3 hours of making the decision. 2 to 3 hours of just making the decision. And mind you, you had whites, Asians were classified as white, and you had Hispanics who were classified as white. No jury of Carmelo's peers. And you think from the judge to from the district attorney, the defense attorney, to the prosecutor, to the jurors, and the county that he was in, he was going to get a fair trial? Y'all smoking something, dude.
We have to make sure that we do what we're supposed to do to get him up out of there and get him free, and also put pressure on Greg Abbott, which is our governor, and also on our Attorney General, Ken Paxton, to do what's right for him as well. And as someone just told me, because people are watching and they're texting me at the same time, they said they were going to lynch Carmelo. That's what their plan was. The kids, not the adults. So that, and if you look at the video, you can tell that it was a pre-planned moment that what they were doing. Yeah, and we know that by a young man that did a Snapchat video, and it said 2 minutes before. And that young man can be seen coming into the canopy. That's why I tell people it's a lot of information that's out there that they just don't know. And so when we get the full video, I'm going to post it, and I'm going to dictate that bad baby off.
Evidence didn't convict him. Mike Howard didn't even do his job. I'm glad they fired him, and now he's represented by a new attorney.
All the way through, because there was a lot of players, and there's a lot of video out there from these young people. I know that EP still has his, so I'm gonna make that a moment out here too, because I've talked to some young people.
For those who are here, like, share, and subscribe channel. Like, share, and subscribe to the channel. Like, share, and subscribe. Like, share, and subscribe. If you like the video, support the video. And this is outrageous. I hope he wins his appeal. And if he does win his appeal, he has a good shot of getting a retrial. And this time, I would I would prefer that Mr. Hunter take the stand. You know why I want Hunter to take the stand? Because I want him to prove beyond shadow of a doubt that Mr. Carmelo is guilty of M1. I don't know why we're labeling this. I don't know why we're calling this murder. What is this, a YouTube thing? But anyway. But in his initial statement, there were 2 interviews, which kind of contradicted himself. He said he didn't grab the bag. Did he grab the bag, or did he say he didn't grab the bag? Did he say he provoked it, or he say he didn't provoke it? 2 different initial statements.
People said they seen it, that he was showing it. And so where he testified, he don't know, and he was faking like he was recording. No, he has it. He showed it to people. They were laughing and having a good time because of his jealousy about the person that's supposed to be his friend. And so those are the things we have to expose.
One of the things I want people to understand, because I've had experience with it, going to predominantly white schools, when white kids do stuff, they sweep it under the rug. You know, when black kids do something, they call the police and all of this. They don't do that on white kids. So I know some people in the chat will be like, ooh, they were doing that. No. White kids do whatever they want to do when they go to school. You know, they programs. When white children get in trouble, let me give you an example. If they're doing, drugs at school, they'll create a program. You know what I mean? Because they don't want to kick them out. They tailor to what they do. They do not kick them out of school. Like black kids are kicked out of school. So I want people to understand, because if you don't understand the culture, you'll say, no, they wasn't planning to do that. And you better believe if they were planning to do that and the grown-ups found out, they're going to sit them kids down and tell them what you better say, because we got to put it on him, because you guys got to go to school. They don't think about these kids are crazy. They need help. They need to spend some time in jail. They'll just put it on somebody else and let them live their life while this innocent person is in prison.
Correct. And I'm glad you said that, because the twins were known bullies to all the cities around and Frisco since the 4th grade. This is what they've been doing. They've been covering up for them. The twins were actually suspended from school. They were on what's called in-house suspension. They weren't supposed to be there because of that fact. And then also the coach testified, which we knew already, that both of them were actually off the team. They weren't supposed to be there, period. And so this is the different standard that's given to them versus us, because they were not supposed to be there at all. And the coach actually testified and said that he texted Austin and told him to step up. What are you stepping up to? Because they came in that gate, when you saw earlier, with a purpose. And we always said that they were moving with a purpose, and he was putting his sleeves up, had his shorts all on, everybody else in sweats.
Poor performance. They were suspended by their coach because of poor performance. And for the simple fact they were skipping out on practices.
What you in shorts for? Because you were going over there with a purpose. You and your twin both looking just the same, with the same purpose. It's just Hunter wasn't built like Austin. Austin was the aggressor. Hunter was the problem starter, and then he let Austin finish it up. And so you can see that energy on that. And so, but this is a moment that they had been doing when they were harassing the cheerleaders at Kane's restaurant.
Carmelo was banned. It's kind of okay. How was Carmelo banned when he just ran his meet that day? That very same day. I didn't know suspended people could participate in their meets. I didn't know that.
And Frisco, that girl sent her parents sent the email. They sent the email complaining about these kids to the administration. They swept it under the rug. Everything these twins have ever done has been swept under the rug, and that's the reason why Austin is not here today, because of his parents. Because of the Frisco ISD, because that's the only ISD they've been in, have always swept them and their conduct under the rug, and they allowed them to get away with everything because Jeff Metcalf is their friend. He's known to them. And so since he's known to them, they give him that courtesy where they did not give it to Carmelo. They didn't give it to a young man called Tristan. His name is Tristan Weekly, where he was at the middle school and a lady went in there trying to abduct him. They had it on camera. His mama actually tried her best to work this thing out, and them people railroaded her around, changed the video, and railroaded us trying to get the information. So this is a Frisco problem, a Frisco ISD problem, a Frisco PD problem. When the detective was working on it, they reassigned him, and they told him that it's above his pay grade, so sit down somewhere. So this is a systematic moment that we're dealing with, because when they know they're protecting their own, because this person knew who that young man was. She called his name. This is his second day in middle school coming from 6th grade. It's his first day in 7th grade. Who knows him at the school already? And you know this young man's name. You call him, you drug him, and they found this young man miles away at somebody's doorstep that's on the popo because he's there. And the only thing they tell his mama is that what underwear he's wearing. And she's like, what? So this is a symptom, and this ties back into this case because they did the same thing to her, and people like myself that was trying to get information the same way they did it here, hiding it through Ken Paxton and all that. We just kind of outsmarted them on her part because she was listening, where the family didn't listen to what we were trying to tell them on this side. And so we're still trying to get justice both ways. But this is a moment to where it explains what they are allowing their people to do, because we know they know who this lady is because they told us they did without telling us. And the same thing here. They knew exactly what the twins had done.
That's an interesting statement that you just made, because I'm not tribal at all. I'm a Pan-African, sir. That's not tribal. FBA tribal. Adolph's is tribal. I'm not tribal at all. I love my people more than you love yourself. I can't believe you won't put that shit in my chat.
They knew all of this. Megan and Jeff knew.
That's crazy.
There. And Jeff tell you real quick, how you know? Were you there? And so it's like, well, Jeff, we know you were there because you keep speaking in first person. You don't speak as to what your sons and everybody told you. You keep telling us as a matter of fact that this happened. You saw your son, 5 people had to hold him back. How you know? You wasn't there. And so we have to.
Okay, but again, that day he ran his meet and won. And had his girlfriend, and by the way, had his, what Dr. Umar would put, his bunny. I don't know why he says that. His bunny on the side of him. I guess that's the reason why the Metcalf boys were so jealous of him, because he had his bunny on the side. Y'all can't be for real. Piece of advice, don't invite people to your tents. Do not put your hands on the wrong person. Get a adult. Get a security guard. Get the police. Get the coaches. Are we not in tune with the real world?
Know that this was something that the fight was fixed from the beginning. Right. We knew that when they charged them with murder, when Austin was still living. We knew that. And so this is
yeah, tell white boys the same thing. If you're gonna tell black people not to bring knives to school, tell white boys to not bring guns to school. Simple as that.
A moment to where we as a people have to understand this, and we have to work to protect ourselves. Don't mean we're not going to get locked up. Don't mean we're not going to have to deal with this thing from the moment like Carmelo. But when we have people that are trying to help, please people, listen. And that's something that Drew Anthony said in his interview. He was like, I wish I would have went rogue and listened to those people that they were telling me not to talk to. I was one of those people. And I was trying to tell him from September of last year, get rid of these folks. Let us file your motions and get this case dismissed. We'll get an attorney to go and argue it per hour. But let's get this done so he won't ever get to the courtroom. And we wouldn't all be here today talking about what we're talking about. And so that is the telltale that we need to take from here. Help this family, get what they need. Let's keep Carmelo protected and help him get home, like soon. And let's correct the way the system works for us. And that's what we have to do.
Oh, by the way, I need to mention this. All these coons that are in my chat room, y'all need to be ashamed of yourself.
Correct the way it works for us, so then we can then benefit from what the law says.
Now, have you heard, Dwayne, as a
why are the Metcalf boys terrorizing old white ladies? No accountability.
Relates to the autopsy, because people have been telling me that they won't release that and that it is also sealed. So all of these are questions, because I have did commentary on people that have passed away. I have got the autopsy. I put it on the screen. For you to seal an autopsy, there is too many things associated with this case that lets me know that this kid was set up.
Exactly.
Correct. I put in a PRI or a PRR or a FOIA request for the autopsy in the beginning. It wasn't ready yet, so we were waiting on it. Once it became ready, of course, I petitioned them like, hey, we know it's ready. All of a sudden, we get a leak from the ME's office of what it would contain. And usually when they leak, they'll switch up some numbers or something on a birth date or something, but they're giving you pretty much the information that's in it.
How do you know if you didn't have any hands? How would you know? And number two, what is stopping Metcalf from doing the right thing and not causing? Well, let me say this: what's stopping Hunter for not calling security? All this could have been avoided, but either way, Austin was such an aggressor that, let's just say, for example, if Carmelo were to use his fists, because even your fists are considered deadly weapons, are they not? Are fists considered lethal weapons? And anything is considered a lethal weapon in the state of Texas. So what if he were to use just his hands and the Metcalf boy dies? Again, would the outcome be any different? Don't put your hands on people.
And it showed that Austin had allegedly drugs in his system. Then that's when they came out and said, no, it's false. And then next thing you know, we get a letter from the AG's office saying that they can't release it now. And so we're waiting on all of that. I've already put my information into the AG's office, letting them know this case has been adjudicated. They're relying on your old rulings because he hasn't said anything else on this case since last year. And so we're waiting for him to respond so he can get this release. I know that he knows, because that's how we got this courtroom stuff done, because I don't think they wanted to release that either. And so, but they had to. And so we'll get it. But one thing I can say is that we have talked to Stu.
Really, if that's such a reach, guess what? I'm going to do a live tomorrow. Same time, same channel. Pull up. As a matter of fact, I'm inviting anyone to pull up and talk your bullshit. And bring evidence. Bring the evidence, because I'm certainly bringing mine.
Students who know both parties and who were there. And they said that they saw with their own eyes Austin popping pills that morning. And I'm going to say allegedly, but I know I talked to those people. I know
Austin murdered himself, dude. Point blank, end of discussion. Carmelo Anthony is innocent. That's all I can tell you. That's the simplest thing I can tell. I can tell you, white folks and you coons, is that it's very, very simple. If there is no blood, if he is not messy, if he is not waning from the ass whooping that he was taking, and of course there were marks on him, welts on his eyes, a half of his piece of his dreadlocks were taken out, and the murder and the so-called murder weapon, that was dry as fuck. The murder weapon was dry as hell. It was underneath the ring. Bullshit. He threw it. Bullshit. He ran out the bleachers and he ran away. Bullshit. I don't know any murderer. I don't know any murderer who would just run away. I don't know any murderers that will run away. As a matter of fact, Carmelo had empathy for Austin, and he asked, was he okay? Is he okay? He was with his coach and said, I didn't kill him. I didn't kill him. He's still alive, isn't he? I told him not to put his hands on me. And he had tears in his eyes. Where's your empathy? You have none. Look at the other tape. Where he was with the arresting officer. Y'all some corn. Y'all some cornballs. For real. Well, Texas is learning real quick. Hey. Well, let me not discourage any of my brothers to doing what Carmelo did, because then again, if they were to do it, if the same outcome were to happen, just like in Case and Allen's case, where the white boy couldn't defend himself and he was getting his ass kicked by an Hispanic. Well, I'm just saying. Just don't get any ideas. Don't get any ideas, my brothers. Just don't get any ideas. I'm talking about the real brothers, not the coons in my chat. I'm talking about the real brothers who are holding them things and wishing the motherfucker would. That's all I'm saying.
So we talk to those people. We have that information. And so since that information is there, we know from several, not just that person, but several students in the community.
You're white? It's a damn shame.
That says he is a known person taking that moment. And it fits based on what we know medically happened that day, because there's no way a poke like that from a tool like that would cause you to be up out of here within hours. And we know from their testimony in the court that he had turned purple. That's what they said. And they said they administered blood to him and he came back normal. So they stabilized him at the scene. They transported him to the furthest hospital they can go to. And he was alive when he got there. He crashed when he got there and he wasn't here no more. Right. We know that at 10:54 a.m. So we understand those facts.
No, sir. The twins were not gay. They were just gay for pay. And they didn't have any impulse control. We love Charlie Good.
Also, when I wasn't there, so I don't know the timeline. I just listened to what everybody was saying, but it don't seem like they took them to the hospital right away. So it leads me to believe that they didn't feel like it was an emergency. you know what I mean? I don't remember obviously the time frame. I have no reports, but I heard the mom say, that she had beat them to the hospital, and then the father was called, and he stated that when he got there, he was still there. So I'm wondering, like, why have they not taken this kid to the hospital? So it's leading me to believe that whatever this injury was, that they did not think it was a life-safe.
Just because he had fentanyl in the system, does it give the police the right to put their knee on his neck for 8 minutes and 46 seconds? You sound stupid.
A life-threatening injury.
That's more than correct. That's not stupid. I take that back. That's fucking cowardly. That is a fucking coward. You couldn't bust a grape in a fucking fist fight. Fucking loons.
They treated him like it was a cardiac issue. Because if it was something that you were bleeding out or something like that, they're going to rush you immediately to the closest place to get you stable. Then they'll get you to a trauma 1 to take care of you after that. But the way that they paused, stopped, and parked by the medical, because there's a medical wing that's right there to the right of their stadium, that's right there facing it. And then on the back of that is a training area. They had staff there. And so the ambulance pulled up to there. They were the first people working on him. So they stabilized him in the cardiac moment. And at that point, they were just basically addressing his wound or whatever they were doing. When they took him to Plano, Texas Health, they got there. He was transported there under a cardiac moment, not under blood loss, not under any of those things. And so once he got in there, he crashed because now all those extra substances that he had been taking, now his body is in some type of shock. And that's why he got up out of here. You heard the medical, well, y'all probably didn't hear it, but the medical examiner said that he could have died from multiple things.
Mm-hmm.
Multiple. And so that fits that moment. And let's address Megan and Jeff.
And the white lady tried to revive him, didn't do any good either.
Jeff Metcalf was called to the stadium by the middle school coach, not the track coaches, but the middle school coach. And the middle school coach wouldn't have known what was going on because he has to actually teach a class. So he called Jeff to another incident that happened earlier that day or that morning that the twins were actually involved in. That's the reason why they were coming from the middle school. Megan also worked in Grapevine, Texas, at the pizzeria. She had been called there as well. So she was at the actual middle school area. She left there to go to work, and that's when Hunter said he called his phone and his mom picked up. These are all their statements. They talk too much. So I'm going to repeat what they say. And so Hunter said he called his phone, his mom picked up, and he told her about what happened to Austin. That's when she turned around and went to the hospital, and that's how she beat them to the hospital. And so these are facts that's already a record because they can't shut up and they talk themselves. So we're just going to tell the truth on them by their own words. And so they knew this situation was happening, and that's why you had them doing what they were doing, because these other kids didn't like Carmelo. They were jealous of Carmelo. They know because half of them were bullied by these twins. Now they became friends with the bullies that they had to deal with. And they all had a plan to get rid of Carmelo. And I think it has a lot to do with the young lady that was from Emerson High School. Because if everybody listen, you'll hear on the dispatch calls, it says that we're looking for the suspect from Emerson. Then it says we found the suspect from Emerson. And that's when the body cam footage kicks up where that SRO officer is actually arresting Carmelo, patting him down, walking him on the fence line to get him. And he said, I have the suspect in custody. But on the dispatch, it's telling you that when they got there, because the medical people couldn't come, because they have to find the suspect first. And that's why you see them walking past that officer, because they got the clear once he put him in custody. But they were looking for a kid from Emerson because these boys protected that young lady from them actually doing what they were trying to do to her, because she was the only one there from Emerson at the time. And so that's why they thought Carmelo was from Emerson, because it was already an incident that they don't want to talk about, that the twins were already involved in that morning. And that's why the mom and the dad was already on scene. That's why Jeff is telling you all these first-hand accounts that they have, and I'll say allegedly, just so we can keep it all kosher. But this is what this is. They were involved from the beginning. They started covering up because Jeff knew the police officers. He probably knew half of the EMS workers. He knew the staff. He knew all those people. Them people scared of that man because he probably sold most of them their house or know the people that did. It's a lot of stuff there, and they love doxing people. We have the photo from Jeff on his own Facebook page where he actually had a barbecue for most of the kids that actually witnessed this thing, and that's why they weren't testifying. And the ones that did all told the company line, except for Jose. When he got up there testifying, he told exactly what Carmelo's situation was. They took a recess, took that boy into the chambers, and when they came out, that boy was scared as all know what, and he was sitting there not knowing what to say. This is what we dealt with in that courtroom. And so at the end of the day, the fight was already fixed. And we just need to call out what it is so we can get these people locked up and we can get Carmelo home.
I don't remember, Dwayne, was it you? Somebody posted something on, I think it was Instagram, and it was a post that, allegedly this was a post that Jeff Metcalf posted. And in there, he started talking about the witnesses that they had this barbecue. And I was like, is this real? For real? Like, this is
that's real.
Intimidation.
That's real. And I'll send you the picture. I'll send you the picture of his actual Facebook post because he actually posted that day that they were having a barbecue and the kids are right there in the back and he's smiling and it's on his post. Yeah, he posted it. That's how arrogant and entitled they are.
Exactly. When I saw that, I said, is this real? Because I couldn't believe what I was reading. And it was literally saying something about, the students, the witnesses. And I was like, huh? Why are we advertising that we have the witnesses at my house and we're having a picnic? I said, no, this has to be fake. Like, this is not real. But you're saying
it's real.
In fact,
it's real.
It's
him. It's him. He did it. So he, like I said, they could not sit down when he was up there on TikTok for 18 hours talking to them people. You had an attorney come in the live and actually told him to get down, and he stayed up anyway. And it ended because he called somebody the N-word and all that little stuff, and then they stopped. He dropped. He went on somebody else's page for another few hours, and then they got off. But this is just how arrogant and how crazy these people are because they have no chill button. They have no stop button. They just know to be who they are because they've been so entitled all their lives because of this lineage they have in Collin County and in the North Texas area and in the MAGA Republican Party. They just feel they're always going to be covered, just like his criminal history. That man violated somebody. They said no means no, and he went and did it anyway. But guess what? D.A. Willis and his people sealed it. So you can't see it. But Frisco PD actually said, yeah, we have the record. We just can't share it with you. And so it's a moment to where he's privileged enough to always get the benefit that they're going to cover him. And that's why they do these things. And so at some point, we have to take that privilege away and let them start reaping the benefits of the things they've sown.
Can you tell me a little bit more about the Emerson situation? Because I feel like I've heard it, but I'm just trying to connect that with what actually happened. Was there like another female involved? What do you know about that situation?
From what I know, and I'll say allegedly, because I don't want to put nobody out there. So from what I know is that the young lady was there for the track meet to represent her school, and they had been bullying people all morning. So she was an underclassman, and just like most of those kids they were bullying, and they've been messing with people all morning while they were setting up canopies. That's what Hunter and Austin was doing. And they got to her, and other students stepped up. And so at this point, that's why you probably heard of people saying that they call Carmelo the N-word and other people the N-word, because that's what they were, because they were defending leaving this young lady alone. She was the only one there from her school. There was nobody else from Emerson, just her. And so that is, I think, what actually set the catalyst that now this goody two shoes, Carmelo, needs to go. And because they didn't like him because he was protecting the Special Olympic kids, the special needs kids. That's where people started talking about the incident from the year before. He was standing up for a special needs kid because he was being bullied, and Carmelo stood up to those people. He volunteered for the Special Olympics. When they came to Little Elm Lobo Stadium, I used to see him there through YouTube because they streamed it live, and you would see him on that field helping and volunteering. And so this is the moment that they did not like. They were in a gated community. They felt that his family was well-to-do, all these different things, and he was always smiling and laughing, and everybody liked him. So at some point, it just becomes a jealousy moment. He had this beautiful girlfriend that how did he get her? All this kind of moment. And I think that when these boys went to that middle school, and I'm going to say allegedly, and their parents were there, and all of them was over there, and when they got back and they heard, because one of them kids texted them either on Snapchat or on their phone and said he's up under the canopy because EP is the one that invited them. That's when they got the message to come. And that's how Hunter left his phone in his mama's car. That's why he said, I called my phone and my mama answered. That's what he said. And so at the end of the day, they knew. And I think they were like, go get him.
Right.
That's what I'm going to say. They were like, go get him. And that's why they walked with such an urgency to come over there. And they came right over there to get Carmelo. They didn't tell no other kid that was under that canopy that did not go to Memorial to move. Only Carmelo.
Right. And you know what? Because I remember when I was young and we used to do stuff that we had no business. That's how we was walking. They came in their own bullshit. Like they did not come. You can feel the energy, although we couldn't hear no sound. They came there on that. They came there to do something to him. So I'm glad you established a situation with him helping people. And they were like, we don't like him. We don't need you to help nobody, because that makes me understand, okay, somewhere in their mind, they said, we don't like this kid. And then, I think about, and I shouldn't say that, but when I heard that the father said, you don't deserve the things you have, I'm in my mind saying, who says that? Like, I am not involved in anyone's life enough that I know what they have to the point that I say, you don't deserve that, because I don't care. I'm not involved in something like that. But when he said those words, it made me know this is a grown-ass man that is jealous of a child, because I understand they're saying that he allegedly, I'm going to say allegedly, because I don't know if he actually did that, unalive your son, but I would never say you don't deserve the stuff you have. So when he said that, it made me think. And then they were planning all of these stories saying these people bought a house with the money. They bought a car. The house and the car that they're talking about, these were things that they had prior to. So now I'm starting to think, they want to plant this, this story out to people, because what they don't want you to do is donate money to them. I don't know if you knew this, but I started a donation on my page. We had raised $4,000 in 24 hours. Do you know them hunkies call and see? I remember what I told you about how they can do it. You remember we had that conversation?
Yes,
I own the website. Okay, it was my website. I had my payment portal. Do you know these folks call the company? Well, the company, obviously, they took it off. I called them. They put it back on. They didn't know what had happened, but I know somebody within their company know some of them people, and that is why they took it off. So they eventually put it back on. But then what they had done, they had contacted my first payment processor. I don't know what they told those people. All I know is I was just like, okay, I'm just going to switch to somebody else. I don't have time to be, jumping through hoops. They ended up contacting my second payment processors, which I'm going to tell y'all is GoDaddy. Don't do business with them. They ended up contacting them. I don't know what they did. So once they, put the website back up, they like, we don't know. I'm like, listen, I need to speak to a supervisor, because I know somebody intentionally did this, right? They couldn't figure out how to put the payment processor back. And at this point, I said, you know what? I don't even want the website anymore, because if they can just call somebody and have them take it, I don't want to have this type of relationship. So I said, okay, I refunded everybody money. I said, we'll come up with another plan. But it just goes to show how nasty and dirty these people is. And what it shows me is that he's very much innocent, because you're going through too much so that he doesn't have a fair trial. So it tells me right there that he's innocent, because if he did what you said he did, you wouldn't be wasting your time trying to make sure he doesn't get money to have a new trial.
Correct. And I want to let people know the jealousy is from this. Andrew Anthony, Kayla Hayes Anthony, they have done an excellent job of providing, raising, nurturing, and being there for their kids.
That was tasty. Like, share, and subscribe. Like, share, and subscribe. And support the video. I'll play the other part tomorrow to satisfy these nuts in the chat. Not all of them, but most. Where Carmelo was once again pleading, and I'm gonna have to remind some of those individuals listening in the near future, whenever a situation occurs like this or other situations and you run into the police, don't talk. If you get arrested, don't talk. Say these words: either lawyer or parent. Say either lawyer or fucking parent. Because Carmelo didn't mean to incriminate himself, because he didn't understand anything about law. You have a right to remain silent. Anything you say can and will be used against you in a court of law. You have a right to an attorney. If you do not have an attorney, one will be provided for you. We need to start teaching our kids the law.
They also did an excellent job of making sure.
And who the fuck you think you talking to? Go sit in the corner, bitch. Next.
Their kids didn't have to go through things that maybe they saw growing up in their lives. And I can't fault them for that. Nobody should fault them for that. They moved them to Texas, to North Texas. They gave them an excellent life. Yeah. They gave them a nurturing life. That man worked hard every day so his wife can be at home and be involved and make sure their kids had everything they had. That woman has guilt right now because she wished she could have been there that day when she was taking care of something else. Those are things that this family was doing for each other. They made sure that these kids had everything they had. And because of these entitled bullies in the whole family, from Jeff Metcalf on down, they had the caucasity to be in the Anthony's business and worry about how they were providing for their family. Even to the point after he got arrested, they had people riding through their gated community in the back of a truck with weapons, running around screaming and hollering. For what reason? And it's like, y'all both are in Frisco. Why are you mad that neither one of y'all working? That's your fault. That's Megan's fault for working at a pizzeria. And so at the end of the day, we just need to understand that from the beginning of when they got here, I ain't talking about us, but when they got here, those folks have not liked anything that we've ever done or stood for. And to them, we're not supposed to ever have nothing. Neither one of us is supposed to have these cell phones to even be on these moments or devices in their eyesight, because the caucasity of them said,
bruh, are you on that black man in America are extinct type shit? Are you on that, with that manosphere type bullshit? Please don't put that in my chat. This has got nothing to do with the manosphere. Ain't got nothing to do with women. Ain't got nothing to do with that at all. You on the wrong channel, bro.
Is that we're not supposed to. But I'm going to tell everybody, leave the Anthonys alone. Those people have done nothing but work hard, provide, and they were met with a situation that they didn't know how to deal with. So they trusted a lot of people, and they just didn't know what else to do. Leave Dominique Alexander alone. I'm going to say that now.
Oh, yeah. Happy Father's Day to the people, all the fathers in the chat.
Because the man he was just a spokesperson. He didn't know what to do as well, outside of what he was told to do. That's just bottom line.
If black fatigue is such at its highest, then leave. Simply leave. Leave us the fuck alone. This is what I'm talking about. Leave us the fuck alone. It's that simple. If you're getting black fatigue, you don't have to hear. You don't have to hear from me. You don't have to hear from me. Don't go on any other. Don't go on any other black man's content talking shit. Just leave us the fuck alone. I don't want black fatigue. I got white fatigue, Nick. I got white fatigue, and what? Man, the mayonnaise is real. And you graham cracker ass crackers ain't making it any better.
He can advise, but he can only do what he's told to do. These people have done everything they could. That man was up there in Chicago with Obama and them the other day. And I know he's told a lot of those well-to-do people about this Carmelo Anthony thing because he was posting about it. And so people need to understand that the campaign right now is to make sure that anybody that stands up for Carmelo is discredited and put out the pasture.
Who you calling a spook, Tether?
That's all this is about. I just received a death threat just today. I've been receiving them every day.
Tethers?
And that's just what this thing is about. And so
we got to do something about these tethers. These tethers are in my chat. These tethers are ruining it for everybody, bro. Hey, Barb, how are you?
We need to understand that part. That it's about discrediting the things that we as a community do every day. And that family did nothing wrong but just exist and show up that day and live the way they're supposed to live. They didn't care that much about Carmelo and that family so much, they didn't even follow their own rules. That's Frisco ISD. They didn't even call the family and tell them where the boy was, that he was in custody. Kayla found out because someone told her something happened at the stadium, and she tried to call him and couldn't get him, so she tracked his phone and found him at the police station. Right. That is crazy.
Yeah, she stated something about the location.
Correct.
Right now, I'm just listening to the commentary for what should have been the full video, but apparently the judge released parts and bits and pieces of it, and most of it was edited out, but we're just listening to commentary of it. And people can say what they want, but it is what it is.
You're right. They didn't tell her. And so my sole purpose for really helping them is because that's what I saw in them. Like, I don't know. People be like, can you tell them this? And I'd be like, I don't know them. Like, people find it strange that I don't know them. I don't know them. I have never met them. When I see them, I see two people that stated that they moved their.
Well, the obvious, anybody comes with that N-word bullshit, you know what to do.
Family away because they wanted to give them a better life. You have married husband and wife, and I just as a mother, I can just understand how she's feeling to move her family to this place and have her son to be in prison, and I don't feel like he did this. So I just felt like, you know what? I'm going to do what I can do to help. That's all I can do is what I can do. I said, listen, I'm on YouTube. We finna change it. We're finna start putting out content about this because I don't have to know them. I have a family. My sons are grown, and I'm telling you, they better than me, because if it was me, a bunch of kids would be missing.
You're right about it. Yeah.
Mess with mine. Yeah. Do the eye for an eye. Okay. I told y'all I'm a little crazy. Pray for me. So my heart went out to them. And what people don't understand too, if you don't have experience in the legal system, you don't know how it works. Like, everybody don't know that, you get a lawyer.
You said Jug the Builder getting his back blown out. Hey, I have my rights. Oh, I heard yesterday. This was hilarious. It's just wrong, but it's totally hilarious. Some dude came in my chat, right? And he said that Charlie Kirk, I got that Charlie Kirk lean in my double cup. Oh, it's a joke, right? We love jokes. Just like we like to joke about Michelle Obama, right?
That they're supposed to represent you right, or you think they're going to represent you right. They don't understand it. So I can understand how they would have made that, mistake with this lawyer. People just, you don't understand. Every black person ain't been to jail before. Every black person ain't been to prison before. So people don't seem to understand that. So when they come over here, I'm biased. I block them. When I see your messages and it's negative, because I feel like this is a difference.
Oh, I warn you. I warn you. Stop talking shit about Michelle. You got some people in here who definitely love Michelle. Stop talking shit about Michelle now.
Story. Although Carmelo is an adult, to me he's a child because it happened when he was 17. I feel like he had to spend several years going through this. You throw him in jail. Come on now.
Hey, Carolina, can I have $1? I'm asking in sincerity. Can I have $1?
So I'm very biased when it comes to this. So if you're in my chat and I see you and you're negative, you get blocked. That's just
immediately. You're right about it, and that's the reasoning that this is. When you seen, I know myself. When I heard from it, I heard
because I need some delicious cookies. Not that stuff you get from the gas station, but when I go to the mall, I want those delicious cookies, those chocolate chip cookies. They're like $2.99 a piece. So you got $1 for me?
about it from people calling me that morning and saying, "Hey, this is what's going on." And so I started paying attention. I was in that area driving at the time, and I was like, "Okay." So people started telling me, and when I heard who it was, I was like, "Man!" And then someone was like, "Hey, that's that young man that's always helping out the special needs and this and that and that and this." And I was,
yeah, we still cookies. Y'all still a whole country. Yeah, that makes sense.
Like, I've seen him on YouTube before. I know who that may be. And so that was that moment. Then when they started talking about the details, and these are kids talking about the details.
How proportionate is that?
You know, one little kid put out a post saying, "I hope he learned to keep his hands to himself now in heaven." And they were talking about Austin. These are kids in school at that time sending out posts saying this about Austin Metcalf. So it began to spin in my mind to start looking into it, talking to people. And when I found out about more about Carmelo, then it was like, okay, now these kids, everybody's saying that they jumped him, that they approached him. Other folks that would be in know saying the same thing. That's what made me want to go see the video. And once I did all of that, I understood then that this young man deserved my attention to make sure he was okay. And I put my background, my life, and everything in the fray behind it because I didn't care. Because my thing was that he didn't need to experience what I've experienced and other people experienced in prison. And so I didn't want that for him. So that's why I moved like I moved and did the things like I did, and I still am now. And I took off for 2 weeks. I lost money as a business because I was there at the trial. Because it's all about Carmelo and his family to be free. And that's period. And I think that's we understand that this life is sometimes greater than ourselves. And we comfort zone and stand up and stand.
You know, each and every time people say that, it really, my balls itch each and every time you say that. Hold on a second. Sorry about that. Sorry about that.
Willing to put my life down for my kids and my grandkids. You try mine, it's over with for you. I'm just going to tell you that. However, the same thing, I feel the same way about Carmelo, and he ain't even mine. But I saw the look in Kayla Anthony's face when she got up there and did that press conference. I seen the look. I've heard of Andrew Anthony on TikTok when that man was sitting up there talking, and then he just went to a whisper.
Oh yeah, Carolina. Each time white folks say that, it really makes my balls itch. That same thing that Martin Luther King was preaching about was at the same time you were sicking us with fire hoses, dogs, burn down our churches, and you say we are all created equal. You tell me, where's the fairness in that? Where's the justice in that? You may think that racism shouldn't be existing in 2026, but you don't think about the impact that it had on other people. You don't think it had any type of impact. Why don't you ask those elders that experienced the same thing that I experienced or others had experienced? Why don't you go ask the elders, if you can find one, if they are still scarred from racism? Why don't you ask those people? Why don't you ask Donald Trump? Why don't you write a letter to Donald Trump and ask him, does race still exist? Even though his father was a Klansman, whatever. Why don't you ask Judd the Builder, if you can reach him, because he's very busy with his boyfriend right now. Why don't you ask Judd the Builder how he feels about racism? Why don't you ask the Judd the Builder wannabes how they feel about racism?
And said, bro, they all connected. That was that grown man on TikTok, almost breaking his whole body down after he been beat down. People come to his job, making him have to resign. People threatening his family where he had to move several times, and receiving threats to his kids, his wife. This man is, look, I see.
Cool. Maybe we can maybe talk it out. Like and share and subscribe to my channel. Carolina, like and share and subscribe to my channel.
And all that, and at that point in time, that was family to me. Period.
And one thing said too, Dwayne, and I'm gonna address this because please stop sending me.
Yeah, Democrats started the KKK, or the KKK started the Democrats. What, back in 1740? Yeah, and they went back to the Republicans because of all the shit that was going on. So we got two wings of the same damn bird. Your point?
Me stuff telling me about somebody's background. We are right here today talking about a kid that we know he didn't do anything wrong. We also know that the justice system is not fair. I'm not Jesus. I'm not God. I'm not here to judge anybody's background. I done told y'all I used to be post up. Okay, so I am not God.
Post up.
I brought Dwayne
crazy.
here because he saw the video. I don't care about nothing else y'all talking about. Okay. So if you send me a message, I will block you about it. I don't care about that. If somebody saw something and they were a witness, anything else, I do not care about it. That is not, something that, I need to really know, because again, we're talking about a situation here where a kid has been railroaded. But you don't think that this also...
Railroad is the wrong word. I'm sorry to say, ma'am. He was lynched. Carmelo Anthony was lynched in court. I already knew a year ago that the same outcome was going to happen to him. I already knew. I was hoping 10 years probation, because he does not deserve M1 or manslaughter. Not in this situation. Nah. Ain't no way, boy. Ain't no way. Not in this situation.
So happened to other people. So, I mean,
So we're gonna go back.
I just thought that was, important because people seem to think that I care about things as if we didn't have a conversation already. So I don't really care about the small things. Now, one, so
on the video.
We're gonna skip that.
I would say that some of the things that he said in his interview, 90% of it was lies.
Oh man. But the part about him whipping his head around, you did see that.
I did see that part, yes.
Okay, so that motivated you to say, you know what? Let me go see this video down in Frisco ISD. So take us from there, one who intrigued.
Okay, so you want from the beginning or when he whipped his head around?
No, I want to, and I'm going to read the super chats in 1 second. And I got a cash cow from Wendisha. Thank you for the support. I'm going to read it in 1 second. Wendisha, you are on the sponsorship board below so far. So I want you to take us from when you drove to Frisco ISD and the process that you had to go through.
Okay, so going to Frisco ISD, it's about an hour, a little bit over an hour drive for me from where I live in Texas. So when I got there,
I don't know.
when I went inside, I met up with two other TikTokers that was there to see the video. It was Lovely London and it was Kai. So, we made niceties, we said hello, and then we got our badge. They asked for a picture ID. We got our badge. They take us upstairs. I can't remember if it's the second or the third floor, but we go upstairs and we go into this room, and it has two rooms to it. One has a little couch and desk and stuff. Then the other one has like a conference room table, and there's a big television screen on the wall. I would say it's something like maybe 45, 55 inches. And it already has a freeze frame in it, where you can see the canopy of it.
Okay, guys, I'm gonna let this go. But somebody just put in the chat, how can they follow Dwayne? I just had Dwayne whole Instagram on here, so if you missed it, you just want to remind you because I had his whole Instagram up here for at least 5 minutes. So I'm just gonna keep this going because the reason why we're watching this video, again, you're just showing these are people that saw the video. Like we want to listen to the people that actually saw the video.
The left, over to the right, you can see some buses that's parked in the parking lot. You can see from the lens, you can see raindrops coming on the lens. You can see birds flying. You can see across the field. You can see people that's on the track field. Some are stretching.
So you can see birds flying, which I did see a bird fly, and I didn't see raindrops, but it was raining that day. And yet, maybe it's because how the camera was positioned or something like that.
Walking around doing the little things, and then you can see, like I said, where the bleachers are. And the bleachers, you see the walkway. Now the canopy that they were in was up in the far left corner on my left. And you can only see, I would say, maybe half or a third of the canopy. But when you look up at the canopy, you can see Carmelo. Very, very clear. Yes, the video is very clear. It's very clear.
Now, y'all hear these people keep saying the video is very clear. Like the one that we're looking at is not very clear at all. So again, I feel like this video was provided because it doesn't, I mean, you can zoom in, but we know that the jury didn't do that. So they're not releasing it because it's too clear. They want us to think that Carmel was some lunatic when you can zoom in on the damn video and you can see that they actually, they jumped him.
The only thing you cannot see is their face because they have redacted it because they don't want you to see the teenager. But everything else is really pretty clear. You can see colors, like there was a guy, I'm saying it's a guy, with a yellow like raincoat on. You can see umbrellas. You can see things like that. You can see the tarp on the fence. But anyway,
there is another, but Bart, there's another part of it that the judge did not even bother to put it. Half of this shit is edited. It's diluted. It's what the prosecution was. The part of the video that I was just showing was what the prosecution was using to criminate Carmelo. There's another part of this that the judge didn't let out.
When you look up, you can see Carmelo because he's the only thing up there with a gray sweatshirt on. And when we came into the room, the lady kind of told us where to focus at so we can see what we're looking for. So I watched, and she also told us that it moves so quickly. Don't turn your head too much or you'll miss it. That's how fast everything moves. So then I see people walking in, and then I see this one group that's 6 people. And then you see 2 people veer off. One goes up the bleachers to the right, and then one walks straight across. And you see the boys, there's 4. They turn, they walk upstairs. They walk directly to Carmelo.
And who did you perceive these 4 boys to be?
I perceive them to be Austin Hunter and the 2 friends that he said they were with.
Okay, go ahead.
Okay. So you see them walk directly up to Carmelo. And I would say they were running kind of, they weren't running, they were walking kind of hurriedly, like they knew where they were going. They were moving a little bit fast. They get up there, and when they get up there, they stop right in front of Carmelo. Now Carmelo is sitting closer to the edge of the bleachers.
Mm-hmm.
So they walk in, and when they walk in, they pretty much enclose him in that area because at the end of the bleachers, you can tell it's cut off because one of the boys are standing there. So while you're looking, I see 2 boys in the middle, and they're like moving around. You can see them moving around. You can see them ducking down and things like that. And at that time, all 3 of us in the room they're fighting. So after the
well, I noticed you said they are fighting, not he was fighting. So they is plural.
Correct. Yes, there were at least 2 of them that I see. That's what I was focusing on, the 4 boys. So after a while, you see Carmelo go back a little bit, and you see him come back in. Mm. Then you see him go back out again, and the next time he goes out, I'm going to say he kind of went backwards, or however he got over that bleacher, he was kind of crawling a little bit. He stood up. When he stood up, he looked around. He ran up a couple of bleachers, and then he ran down diagonally on the bleachers to the right. When he got to the bottom, he fell. Now, he was moving pretty quick. I mean, he was moving so quick that I didn't even see him jumping over the bleachers. That's how fast he was moving.
Wow.
So when he got to the bottom, he fell. But at the same time, you got 3 guys coming down the stairs chasing after him. Mm-hmm. So Carmelo gets up really quickly.
So it's basically what we seen today or yesterday, because I seen this shit last night. Let me do this real quick. There's some shit I gotta do right now. But we pretty much seen the video. So, and it was it's clear as day to me what I seen, what the witnesses for Carmelo were talking about is absolutely 100% true. 100% true. Let me put that back on.
And then he runs out of the view of the frame. So I don't know exactly where he went. But then I focused on the 3 boys that was running after him. Then they were chasing him. And then all of a sudden, one stopped. Mm-hmm. One stopped, and he turned around. And you can see Austin coming down the stairs. And then he falls to his knees and he collapsed. So when the one boy turned around and looked towards Austin, I thought that was Hunter because he said he whipped his head around. So, and saw his brother. So then it clicked to me, that's what he was talking about. He tried to walk and get over to his brother, but he never made it because once Austin collapsed, there were people down in that area that went to his assistance. And pretty much after that, they called the ambulance. It took a while for them to get there. They came in, they pulled into the field, into the track field. They were there for a few minutes. They got out, they got the gurney out and went back around the fence, went to Austin, stayed there a little while, put him on the gurney, came back to the ambulance. They backed up. And when they backed up to the opening, they sat there for a little while, and then they took off.
I want to say this. If you're lying, you took a long time to make up that story. Because
no, I'm not.
Because the story is so full of so much detail, and everybody else that has told their story, like Lena, Kyra, T-Sturdy, 12 Tribe.
Shouts out to Freezy for covering the Carmelo Anthony case. Shouts out.
Absolute. Shout out to Miss Daisy.
And shouts out to Taz too, because Taz be on it. Shout out to Taz. What up, Auntie?
It's pretty much 90. I'm gonna say 99% the same.
Oh, and let me not forget the Queen herself, Miss Queen Sheba, who was in the courtroom when all this went down. I mean, she wasn't there for all of it, but she was there nevertheless. So, shouts out to the Queen, and definitely shouts out to my brother from another mother, Uda Block. Definitely give shouts out to him. So yes, definitely give shouts out to Young Freezy.
Of course, there's going to be a little nuances. Everybody, have their own point of view. It's just like 99% the same.
I mean, me and Freezy spoke once before. I mean, it wasn't as pleasant because I was a bit of a hothead, but I mean, we talked a couple of times before, but this was a couple of years ago. I mean, I need to hook up with him at some point in time. You know what I'm saying?
And one thing
focusing on, I think.
Yeah.
And what he said is actually correct. All of these people don't know each other. Like, they don't even know each other. And their story is very much similar. Now, one thing Dwayne did say is that when they went in there, they directed them where to look. Essentially, of course, when I just watched the video, my eyes was all over the place. And then after watching it a few times, I was able to focus my eyes and
it was but breaking news.
And there are other attorneys who have.
He has spoken. Amazing.
So I was wrong. Oh my goodness. So I am man enough to admit when I'm wrong, and I am wrong. The video footage of Carmelo Anthony and the event has come out, and it's clear as day that I was 100% wrong. Damn. And what I was wrong about is my belief in hoping that upon the facts and evidence upon this video footage being released, that these wicked and demonic people would change their minds. And sure enough, they have. Got him. The lineage of evil is still on evilin, because it's clear as day that when you look at this video footage, that anyone saying that, oh, this proves that it was murder, is either incompetent or racist. Those are only two options at this moment in time. Because my stance, my position, which I still hold today, is that his defense was incompetent. And it was either incompetent or they were in on it together, where they very much threw him under the bus because they wanted a guilty verdict. That's what it was. And there are other attorneys who have admitted such when it comes to, hey, he should have rebutted this when the prosecution was saying this, that the defense was just sleeping. When it comes to the video footage proves everything that I have been saying, proves everything that, that other people have been saying, which is, who is the aggressor? Austin Metcalf. We see this in the video footage. I don't know what to tell you. It is what it is. Now, you can try and play mental gymnastics and say, oh, he wasn't aggressive, but he clear as day was. Carmelo Anthony was sitting with these people for quite some time. The only time that any type of disruption erupts was the existence of Austin Metcalf. Carmelo Anthony didn't, poke anybody during that time that he was called over there to sit down under the canopy. Nothing happened. There was no fights. Everybody was chilling and sitting down and talking. That's what it showed. Now, it was only until Austin Metcalf got over there that an issue started to arise, and then put hands on him, and then he got poked and he's no longer here. Carmelo Anthony runs, to the coach. Coach brings it back and mums a word.
So he did get jumped. Interesting. The thing that we've been saying for quite some time now, that if it wasn't for his brother provoking it, and then of course I'm not provoking, I'm missing the other word, but he became the antagonist, and then Austin became the aggressor, and the progressor got progressively stabbed, allegedly. Because again, where was the bag? Where was the bag? Where was the bag, people? You just on one stream today? Yep. But tomorrow I'm gonna be on either StreamYard or Restream, whichever one, and just send the link for any of these people to come up and try to debunk what I just stated so far. And I've been waiting for a week, so let's see. Let's see if any of these intelligent people would like to come up and have a conversation.
The second video, we hear Carmelo Anthony crying, right? He's crying. I told him, not to put his hands on me. I think he was analyzing. Memorial gentle there, guys. All right.
He put his hands on me. I told him not to. He put his hands on me.
He's asking, hey, is he going to be all right? Officer says he doesn't know. Now, if you want to believe that that's the headspace, that's the mindset of a
murderer,
killer, you can go ahead and believe that. But once again, that falls into two camps of thought. Either you're a racist or you're ignorant. That's it. Those are only two options. And in many of these videos, and many of the people doing videos on this footage, that's really what it boils down to. You have a lot of white ignorance, and then you have a lot of Sambo soldiers. Mm-hmm. There's nothing we can do about that because
and that's a sad thing, especially for your officer tantrums and of the world, your that old attorney, and even Judge Joe Brown. You're not even a judge anymore. Jesus, I don't know what happened to our judges. I just don't know. I think they have given up. I think they have given up on their blackness. I think they have given up on their Africanity. I just think that I don't know. It's very, very sad. Even Stephen A. Smith. I don't know what Stephen A. Smith is doing. I don't know what he's doing, but trying to bring both sides together, trying to bring Republicans and Democrats together. Like, what the fuck is that? What is that shit? Did the Indians and Pilgrims get along, or did the Indians get betrayed? The Indians shook hands with the Pilgrims, and look who got fucked. The Africans shook hands with the ice people. No, excuse me, I said that wrong. The Sun people, Africans, shook hands with the ice people, Europeans, and look who got fucked. We whooped y'all asses. Mexicans whooped y'all asses at the Alamo, and they whooped you with that ink pen. It's funny how things turned out.
No, if the roles were reversed, we already know what would have happened. We already know that they would be blaming the black kid. Oh, why did he just, give someone else? Why did he even, attack this, poor little white kid? We already know that would happen. Why do we know this? Because we have a history of this behavior. And I'm pretty good at pattern recognition, okay? The same people who are trying to justify Austin Metcalf pushing Carmelo Anthony are the same people who validated Daniel Penny. Daniel Penny, who snuffed the life of a black man who put no hands on anybody. He put no hands on not one person in that subway, and his life was taken from him. And what does he get as a reward? He gets to go to the White House and takes a picture with J.D. Vance and President Trump. All these people celebrated that. What are we talking about? We have the same people who had no problem with Shiloh Hendricks calling a black child an N-word and then raising nearly $1 million off it. Damn, all these people celebrated. We have most recently Chud the Builder. All these people who are vilifying, black people who said that they may put hands on this person. What are they saying? Hey, you're going to put hands on someone over words? Is that what you're going to do? All these same people who are championing Chud the Builder are now vilifying Who? Carmelo Anthony. Thank you. These people are hypocrites, okay? There's no video footage that'll come out. There's no argument that can be presented to them if they're ignorant, right? If they're low IQ, or B, if they're a racist.
You can't fix stupid.
And at the end of the day, I have no dog in this fight. So I could look at this case, and I could be impartial to it. It was like, I don't know Carmelo, I don't know Austin. And I can only just look at the facts and evidence. Now, people can say, hey, it wasn't self-defense. Sure, you can say that. But I very much believe that there is a good case for self-defense. All I wanted was for that case to be presented to the jury, which it wasn't. Dang. But anyone acting like this is the nail in the coffin for their racist, prejudiced take on Carmelo Anthony, I mean, that's what it is. They're either low IQ or they're racist. As simple as that. Because at the end of the day, this video footage really doesn't prove anything. At the end of the day, it doesn't prove, I would argue, it doesn't prove self-defense, and it doesn't prove murder. At bare minimum, you can honestly say, due to Austin no longer being here, manslaughter. That's what I was thinking, manslaughter. If both prosecution and defense were manslaughter at the end of the day. Because there's no way you can say, oh, look, see, it proves it. No, it doesn't. It's very blurry. It's very grainy. You have the testimony of these kids who are inconsistent, something the prosecution themselves even admitted to. So it really would have boiled down to who had the better narrative. That's it. Who had a better narrative? Who had a better argument? Who had the more convincing argument to sway the jury? And at the end of the day, it was the prosecution. You had people who were going to the courthouse, watching the trial, and saying that. They were saying prosecution is really on it. Prosecution is really on it. The defense is not really doing anything. Now we see why the jury came to that conclusion. We just had Rick Child. Now, the case seemed to be open and shut. You shot somebody in the back, that's donezo. Game over, right? But because the because the defense was so good at his job, what happens? They gave reasonable doubt to a jury. Rick Child gets free. So at the end of the day, anyone who has an IQ above room temperature, any attorney who's competent and good at their job will tell you that really the facts and the evidence don't matter. What matters is how you use those facts and evidence to either defend your case or attack your opponents. Because you can look at a video and give a different context, and another person can look at a video and give a different context. You can look at the facts and evidence and see a completely different picture than someone else. And that's where we get into why it's so important to have good legal representation. But when we look at the flip side of this, we come to the Sambo soldiers. Now, what makes the Sambo soldiers so heinous is that they're not seeking truth. They're seeking to be anti-black. That's what you have to understand. And I won't even say that it's pro-white in some cases, because at some point in time, I used to believe that, hey, they were just, tap dancing for white people. Now, many of them are, but at the end of the day, what you have to understand, whether they're tap dancing for white people, Asians, whoever it is, who the common denominator is black people. And they will always be anti-black. And because of this anti-black sentiment, they get rewarded for it. And it's easy to see, because when many of them, if you look at them, they're very uneducated and they're usually low IQ. They're usually inarticulate, or there's some type of handicap that they have. And, there's a racist base of people in this country that like to see that. They like to see, a circus. they like to see the freaks at the circus and stuff like that. This is a common pastime of this lineage of evil. So when they get like a tantrum, or when they get a conservative perspective, or when they get these people, it's very much watching, oh, good job. This is all.
It's very, very sad, right? Very, very sad that people feel like this. Very sad. But this is how this generation is. And this is what the elitists want. This is what the elitists has been banking for quite some time, to get rid of racism. That's a joke in and of itself. How are you going to get rid of racism knowing that I am black in this country and it's always going to be racism in this country? Riddle me that.
Awesome. This is really cool to see this. So when we look at, I think the Cartier family, it seems that they're doing like a Three Stooges type of thing. And what do they try to make it? They try to downplay, racism in this country.
No,
you
not
think
the
white man
Cardi
can do all of
brothers.
this? That's what you're saying? You think the white man can do all this?
I told y'all. They really, they really believe that the white men.
No, I seen a video.
You know what that means, though, guys? That they saying that white people in America got so much supremacy and so much power that a regular guy, hardworking guy like Jeff Metcalf could just go in the courtroom and read the courtroom for his white son and his white family.
For the white jury.
Yeah, so he can prove that his son away for the rest of his life.
I think that's ridiculous.
I miss you like a hog miss fly. like a baby. Miss mammy.
Did it?
Now, in cases like this, you don't take the Three Stooges seriously, right? You have to acknowledge that the Three Stooges are doing what the Three Stooges do, right?
Yes.
They're not very, highly intelligent based off their analysis of this case and constantly talking about, the black people, bro, they just think the white man is doing all this. That's not like some, high IQ take analysis of the country and its relationship with Black America. Like, there's nothing there. It's very superficial drivel.
But Brondo's got what plants crave.
It's got electrolytes.
And that's what they get paid to put out. Because it has nothing to do with what the white man is in control of and what the white man can do, or whether or not you get to get poked upon pushing somebody. Those are actual valid arguments. No one with an IQ above room temperature is saying upon you pushing someone, you should get poked. No one's saying that. What we are saying is, A, you should keep your hands to yourself. And
Bingo!
You are not in charge of how someone else
Bingo! Can we get a applause? Give a round of applause, ladies and gentlemen. Let's run this back.
Your hands to yourself. And B, you are your hands to yourself. Your hands to yourself. Our saying is, A, you should keep your hands to yourself. Our saying is, A, you should keep your hands to yourself. Our saying is, A, you should keep your hands to yourself.
One more time.
Our saying is, A, you should keep your hands to yourself. And B, you are not in charge of how someone else responds. You may not like how this person responds. You may think it's wrong, but we have to look into the eyes of this person. And when it comes to Carmelo, I've already gone through a lot of factors that weren't even brought up in case. The size discrepancy, right? Austin Metcalf, 6'1", over 200 pounds. Carmelo Anthony, 5'7" or so, under 140, soaking wet. Carmelo Anthony's sitting. Austin Metcalf is standing. That means he's towering over him. Another factor when they come to, it was in the chest. There is nothing in that video or anything proved in court that said it was intentionally lunged into the chest. There's nothing there, right? This is all them. This is once again their bias. This is their prejudice coming out. But to act like someone who's coming off a shoulder injury, who has epilepsy, who is clearly nonviolent in this situation, who was clearly abreast by Austin Metcalf, sitting down, not causing anything, didn't have any problems prior to Austin Metcalf, to act like he's some cold-blooded murderer is ludicrous. Unless, once again, you're low IQ or you're just racist, right? You hate black people.
That's true. That's true.
But to act like there was no way in God's green earth that he ever could feel that his body would possibly be in serious injury from the 6'1" linebacker is, come on now. You got to be honest, but they can't be honest because they're too busy tap dancing. Beta! Another person we have who's nothing more than a bucket of stupid is Tantrum. He loves, in this clip, criticizing black women and their hair and everything, but he never brings, a cogent argument. There is no cogent rebuttal. And you'll see this time and time again throughout this pattern, because many of the black conservatives out there, they're very low IQ. So they can't analyze a situation and give a cogent argument. They can't give a rebuttal, right? So what they do is they try to play on stereotypes. They try to play on talking points that they know is familiar with their white ignorant base.
Reverse racism, basically.
But Brondo's got what plants crave.
It's got electrolytes.
There is no thinking going on with many of these people. It's just regurgitation. That's what they are nothing more than NPCs because they don't have the IQ to really formulate a thought of their own. That's why they go and regress and say, well, black people aren't a monolith. Well, I'm a free thinker. Those are white talking points, that has been handed down to these people to be mouthpieces. That's it. So you have Tantrum talking about, oh, there is no video of this and everything, and you just came up with it off the top of your head.
A picture at a party they having the time. There is an alleged post from Austin, from of course before he passed, that he had 2 assault rifles on his resting on himself in the car, saying that I dare one of the monkeys to come to this track meet today. But this is.
Maybe it's their hair dye in their head, trying to be like white people. Your hair is not blonde, woman, and that dye seeking through and getting your brain messed up.
What?
Where you see a video of of Austin Metcalf saying, with an AR-15 said, I want monkeys to come to the track meet. Where you get that at? You just made that up, sis. Because y'all ain't got no facts on your side. You made it up.
Here's the funny part. First off, listening skills. She never said video, she said picture. So that's strike one. Secondly, there is a picture of what she's talking about, describing Austin Metcalf and saying, oh, you monkeys and everything. That's the second thing. The third thing is the picture was actually shown to be a fake. So the one time in his life that he actually has a layup, right? A layup in his hand, talking about, hey, she doesn't know what she's talking about. That's shown to be a fake. This is why misinformation is so dangerous. He doesn't even do it. What does he do? He mocks her and then tries to dismiss it, even though he's completely ignorant of what she's referring to. Goofiness.
I miss you like a hog miss fly.
And then lastly, we have Black.
My dear, I love for you to play devil's advocate. I do, because I get the right to debunk you. Playfully, that is. Dear, it's my right, my God-given right, my civil right, my voting right. Hold on. I think I can do it. Damn it, I can't do it. It is my right, my civil right, my duty to do whatever it is the I want in a country that my ancestors built. And to answer your real question, he was invited. He was invited. Why didn't he leave? How long do we let white people who are privileged to tell Black people each and every single time we're at an event, each and every single time we're at a football game, a basketball game, a soccer event, blasey, a movie theater, a restaurant. How many times are we going to have to hear these words, you need to leave? Which that how it was framed really wasn't the case. How long are we going to be forced to leave? You're not an authority here. Not you, Barb, not you, but white folks are not an authority here. A 17-year-old boy, I wish the fuck he would tell me to get up before he does something to me. I wish I might. I wish I might. Having a white boy put his hands on me. Now, I agree with that. Go get the police. I agree with that. That's the exact same thing that I said. I said, go get the police if it's such a problem. Go get security if it's such a problem. That's what I said. That's what I said. But since he did not, since his arrogance is so up there, since his high Q is up a lukewarm temperature, you know how it says in the Bible, if you're lukewarm, I just blow you away. I don't want my coffee to be cold or lukewarm. I can just blow you away. I want my shit to be fucking hot. So I hope that answers your question.
Conservative perspective. Now, for whatever reason, he seems to, take a fancy to me. I don't know. He seems to like me or whatever. But he's trying to convince his audience that I believe that I'm more intelligent than I am. But in doing so, he shows how low IQ he actually is.
It's like watching zoo animals, right?
And that's another thing. Don't touch me. Do not put your hands on me. FAFO. See, white folks need to learn. They're making it a black and white thing. Well, the world is racist. Get over it. You made it a black and white thing when Jeff decided to put his muzzle on something that he should have never put his well, I have to say his hands, starting with his hands and then it ended up with his mouth. June 2011. June 2011. Yeah, June 2011. You were arrested for SA? Were you not arrested for SA, sir? Sir? Mr. Metcalf? Mr. Metcalf, were you not arrested in 2011? Oh, excuse me. I'm sorry. I said 2011. Weren't you arrested in 2011 for SA? Excuse me. Hello. Hi, Mr. Metcalf. Hi, how are you doing? Mr. Watermelon Felon. Weren't you arrested? Yeah. And of course, Mr. John something, that one of the judges sealed off your shit. So, I mean, we couldn't take a look at it. But if we were to take a deeper dive at your criminal record, what would we find? And amongst your peers, which you're so close with, the judge, the defense attorney, the prosecutor, and his wife. I mean, hot damn. What are we doing? Anyway.
Miss you like a whole Miss Fly. One of these individuals, I think, is a great example of somebody who believes that they're a lot smarter than they actually are. And I think that one of the best signs of intelligence is somebody who really understands how smart they are. Right? They understand, okay, I'm of average intelligence.
I'm back today to talk to you about how to correct a lisp.
I'm not the smartest, right? I'm not dumb, but I'm also not the smartest. That actually makes you smarter than an individual who otherwise is a smart person, right? But they think they're smarter than they are, right? That makes them dumber than they actually are. And I hope that people understand what I'm saying. Because I think that perfectly defines the amazing Bob, who is not a very smart person, but he believes that he's smarter than he actually is, which makes him dumber than he is, even though he's not very smart in the first place.
Now, Greg, if you're watching this, I want you to Google one word, okay? Verbosity. Okay, can you do that for me, little buddy? This man spent 5 minutes, took multiple cuts, trying to sound intelligent while trying to put me down, and all the meantime, looking like a complete chipmunk. Side note, does anyone know what his issue is, right? Because it looks like his cheeks are swollen like a chipmunk. And from what I've heard is that he was actually born a woman. Oh. And that would explain, if we're going to be honest, that would explain like the pubes on his face that he tries to pass off as a beard. I genuinely do not know what's holding that cap on.
I mean, he has a problem with Sambos like Officer Tatum and the black conservative, which is that guy. I have some problems with ignorant black conservatives myself. Not going to mention any names, but dealt with them before in my past life. So needless to say, I was like, get your money. Just know that you're out. You are out. I mean, go play golf with these MAGAs. Just put on a MAGA hat. That's what I'm saying. Just put on a MAGA hat and just say Go white people. Go pure Aryan Christian white brotherhood. Why don't you go party with them? Why don't you go party with the Ku Klux Klan? Why don't you go party with the Klan Dragons, the Klan Dragons? I mean, there was once a black man that was once a Klan member. I forgot what his name was, but anyway, that's not even important. What's important is Carmelo Anthony should be free. Carmelo Anthony should be at home with control. So, with that being said, I will be back tomorrow with another video. And until then, have a good day.